NCCER 00105 Basic Safety, Construction Site Safety, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA. An agency of the U.S. Department of Labor, also refers to the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970, a law that applies to more than 111 million workers and 7 million job sites in the country. Positioning. Lanyards that have no shock-absorbing features are used for blood. Hepatitis can be caused by contact with management system. The organization of a company's management, including reporting procedures, supervisory responsibility, and administration. The respirator that would be used where dust or solid particles might be inhaled is A. A supplied air mask. B. Full face piece mask with chemical canister. C. Half mask or mouthpiece with a mechanical filter. D. Self-contained breathing apparatus. C. Half mask or mouthpiece with a mechanical filter. When placing a ladder against a platform or roof, the top of the ladder should extend above the point where the ladder touches the platform or roof by at least A. 2 feet 61 centimeters. B. 3 feet 91 centimeters. C. 4 feet 1.2 meters. D. 5 feet 1.5 meters. B. 3 feet 91 centimeters. When other workers are working near a welding operation, the standard practice is to A. Weld at a lower temperature to reduce risks. B. Stop work until everyone leaves. C. Make sure there are plenty of fire extinguishers available. D. Screen the work area with welding shields. D. Screen the work area with welding shields. Double insulated tools. A polarized electrical receptacle is used for accident. Per the U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, an unplanned event that results in personal injury or property damage. Excavation. Any man-made cut, cavity, trench, or depression in the earth's surface, formed by removing earth. It can be made for anything from basements to highways. Cover the opening and label the cover. If there is a hole in the floor of a structure, the preferred method of protecting workers from falls is to 3-wire system. One of the most common grounding systems used for protection against accidental electrical shock is the competent person. Daily inspection of an excavation must be performed by A. Paint. One source of lead on some job sites is hydraulic. Powered by fluid under pressure. The deering or support point on a safety harness should be placed A. Between the should blades. B. At the back of the neck. C. Around the waist. D. Over the rib cage. A. Between the shoulder blades. Competent person. A personal fall arrest system should be inspected monthly by A. Flammable. Capable of easily igniting and rapidly burning, used to describe a fuel with a flash point below 100 degrees Fahrenheit 38 degrees Celsius. Personal protective equipment, PPE. Equipment or clothing designed to prevent or reduce injuries. Lockout/tagout. A formal procedure for taking equipment out of service and ensuring that it cannot be operated until a qualified person has removed the lockout or tagout device, such as a lock or warning tag. One of the symptoms of heat stroke is A. The body temperature drops by several degrees. B. Cool, pale and moist skin. C. Extremely high body temperature. D. Heavy sweating. C. Extremely high body temperature. Confined space. A work area large enough for a person to work, but arranged in such a way that an employee must physically enter the space to perform work. A confined space has a limited or restricted means of entry and exit. It is not designed for continuous work. Tanks, vessels, silos, pits, vaults, and hoppers are examples of confined spaces. Handline. A line attached to a tool or object so a worker can pull it up after climbing a ladder or scaffold. Entry permit. The type of permit that must be issued before a permit-required confined space can be accessed is called scaffold. An elevated platform for workers and materials. Safety is a learned behavior and attitude. Which of these is a true statement regarding safety? Daily inspection of an excavation must be performed by a qualified person, b. competent person, c. foreman, d. engineer. B. competent person. Risk. A measure of the probability, consequences, and exposure related to an event is referred to as. A personal fall arrest system should be inspected monthly by a A. Coworker, b. State safety inspector, c. Project manager, d. Competent person. D. Competent person. Which of these is a true statement regarding safety? PG 35A. Safety is a learned behavior and attitude. B. Safety consciousness comes naturally to most individuals. C. Safety primarily depends on workers in the field. D. Safety does not normally require training. A. Safety is a learned behavior and attitude. Between the shoulder blades. The deering or support point on a safety harness should be placed. Hard hats should be made of fiberglass or A. Metal, B. Reinforced plastic, C. Styrofoam, D. Rubber. B. Reinforced plastic. When there is the potential to be exposed to asbestos, workers must A. Don a respirator before disturbing the asbestos. B. Remove the asbestos as quickly as possible. C. Report it to a supervisor and avoid disturbing it. D. Call the emergency number to summon first responders. C. Report it to a supervisor and avoid disturbing it. A measure of the probability, consequences, and exposure related to an event is referred to as PG 46A. Safety, B. Evaluation, C. Risk, D. Hazard. C. Risk. A system that protects workers from hazardous energy while they work with machines and equipment is referred to as A disconnect, B. A barricade system, C. Lockout/tagout, D. An energy neutral system. C. Lockout/tagout. Job safety analysis. The activity that consists of breaking a job into its component tasks and then analyzing each step for potential hazards is called a half mask or mouthpiece. The respirator that would be used where dust or solid particles might be inhaled. In a lockout/tagout situation, a personal lock and tag must be removed by A. A supervisor, B. A competent person, C. A qualified person, D. The person who applied them. D. The person who applied them. What type of fire extinguisher would be used on an electric motor that has overheated and caught fire? A. Class A, B, Class B, C, Class C, D, Class D. C. Class C. In the absence of other information, all soil in an excavation should be treated as if it is PG 76A, Type AB, Type BC, Type CD, solid rock. C. Type C. Unsafe conditions. Poor lighting, excessive noise, and inadequate guards for moving parts are examples of. The type of permit that must be issued before a permit-required confined space can be accessed is called a N underscore 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 A. Hot work permit. B. Entry permit. C. Excavation permit. D. Manhole permit. B. Entry permit. Heat stroke. Which of the following conditions is considered life-threatening? The person who applied them. In a lockout/tagout situation, a personal lock and tag must be removed by the body temperature rises slightly. Heat exhaustion differs from heat stroke in that incident. Per the U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, an unplanned event that does not result in personal injury but may result in property damage or is worthy of recording, 2 feet 61 centimeters away. A good general rule about hearing protection is that it should be used if you must raise your voice for someone to hear you when they are. Benching systems are prohibited in underscore 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 PG 76A, Type A soils. B, Type B soils. C, Type C soils. D, solid rock. C, Type C soils. A good general rule about hearing protection is that it should be used if you must raise your voice for someone to hear you when they are underscore 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 A, 2 to 3 feet away. B, 3 to 4 feet away. C, 5 to 6 feet away. D, 8 to 9 feet away. A, 2 to 3 feet away. Top rail. A top-level, horizontal board required on all open sides of scaffolding and platforms that are more than 14 inches, 36 centimeters, from the face of the structure and more than 3 meters, feet above the ground. Ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI. A device that interrupts and de-energizes an electrical circuit to protect a person from electrocution. Hepatitis can be caused by contact with underscore 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 A, lead. B, asbestos. C, blood. D, chemicals. C, blood. One of the most common grounding systems used for protection against accidental electrical shock is the underscore 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 A, 2-wire system. B, 3-wire system. C, 4-wire system. D, 5-wire system. B, 3-wire system. Maximum intended load. The total weight of all people, equipment, tools, materials, and loads that a ladder can hold at one time. If there is a hole in the floor of a structure, the preferred method of protecting workers from falls is to underscore 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 .pg 52A, cover the opening and label the cover. B, place reflective tape around the opening. C, post a guard at the opening. D, place a warning sign near the opening. A, cover the opening and label the cover. Pneumatic. Powered by air pressure, such as a pneumatic tool. Type C. In the absence of other information, all soil in an excavation should be treated as if it is. When performing overhead work on scaffolding, what protective measures must be taken to prevent objects from falling and striking a person below? A, fall arrest systems are used. B, alarm systems should be enabled. C, tow boards, debris nets, or canopies must be applied. D, warning tags are posted on the scaffold. C, tow boards, debris nets, or canopies must be applied. When stacking materials such as bricks or block, do not stack materials beyond A underscore 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 A, 3 to 1 height to base ratio. B, 4 to 1 height to base ratio. C, 5 to 1 height to base ratio. D, 10 to 1 height to base ratio. B, 4 to 1 height to base ratio. Cross bracing. Braces, metal or wood, placed diagonally from the bottom of one rail to the top of another rail that add support to a structure. Safety culture. The culture created when the whole company sees the value of a safe work environment. Type C soil. Benching systems are prohibited in. Companies with strong safety cultures usually have lower PG 35A, turnover B, productivity C, wages D, morale A, turnover. Tow boards, debris nets, or canopies to catch. When performing overhead work on scaffolding, what protective measures must be taken to prevent objects from falling and striking a person below? Planked. Having pieces of material 2 or more inches thick and 6 or more inches wide used as flooring, decking, or scaffolding. Flash burn. The damage that can be done to eyes after even brief exposure to ultraviolet light from arc welding. A flash burn requires medical attention. Combustible. Capable of easily igniting and rapidly burning, used to describe a fuel with a flash point at or above 100 F, 38 C. Proximity work. Work done near a hazard but not actually in contact with it. Reinforced plastic. Hard hats should be made of fiberglass or guard. Enclosed, fenced, covered, or otherwise protected by barriers, rails, covers, or platforms to prevent dangerous contact. Brazing. A process using heat in excess of 800 degrees Fahrenheit 427 degrees Celsius to melt a filler metal that is drawn into a connection. It is commonly used to join copper pipe. Lanyard. A short section of rope or strap, one end of which is attached to a worker's safety harness and the other to a strong anchor point above the work area. Qualified person. A person who, by possession of a recognized degree, certificate, or professional standing, or by extensive knowledge, training, and experience, has demonstrated the ability to solve or prevent problems relating to a certain subject, work, or project. Towboard. A vertical barrier at floor level attached along exposed edges of a platform, runway, or ramp to prevent materials and people from falling. Flashpoint. The temperature at which fuel gives off enough gases, vapors, to burn. Signaler. A person who is responsible for directing a vehicle when the driver vision is blocked in any way. Midrail. Mid-level, horizontal board required on all open sides of scaffolds and platforms that are more than 14 inches, 35 centimeters, from the face of the structure and more than 10 feet 3 meters above the ground. It is placed halfway between the towboard and the top rail. The activity that consists of breaking a job into its component tasks and then analyzing each step for potential hazards is called a ______.PG46A, job safety analysis B, hazardous incident simulation C, safety breakdown structure D, safety pre-assessment. A, job safety analysis. Report it to a supervisor, avoid disturbing it. When there is the potential to be exposed to asbestos, workers must. Respirator. A device that provides clean, filtered air for breathing, no matter what is in the surrounding air. Shoring. Using pieces of timber, usually in a diagonal position, to hold a wall in place temporarily. Poor lighting, excessive noise, and inadequate guards for moving parts are examples of .pg43a, acceptable risks B, unsafe conditions C, unavoidable hazards D, unsafe acts. B, unsafe conditions. Which of the following conditions is considered life-threatening? A, heat stroke B, heat cramp C, frostbite D, heavy sweating. A, heat stroke. 4:1 height to base ratio. When stacking materials such as bricks or block, do not stack materials beyond A. Lockout/tagout devices. A system that protects workers from the release of hazardous energy while they work with machines and equipment is referred to as shielding. A structure used to protect workers in trenches but lacking the ability to prevent cave-ins. 3 feet. When placing a ladder against a platform or roof, the top of the ladder should extend above the point where the ladder touches the platform or roof by at least. Arc welding. The joining of metals parts by fusion, in which the necessary heat is produced by means of an electric arc. Turnover. Companies with strong safety cultures usually have lower spoil. Material such as earth removed while digging a trench or excavation. Permit required confined space. A confined space that has been evaluated and found to have actual or potential hazards, such as a toxic atmosphere or other serious safety or health hazard. Workers need written authorization to enter a permit-required confined space. One source of lead on some job sites is A, water B, food C, blood D, paint. D, paint. Safety Data Sheet, SDS. A document that must accompany any hazardous substance. The SDS identifies the substance and gives the exposure limits, the physical and chemical characteristics, the kind of hazard it presents, precautions for safe handling and use, and specific control measures. Lanyards that have no shock-absorbing features are used for A. Workers under 150 pounds B. Positioning C. Working on scaffolds D. Climbing ladders. B. Positioning. A polarized electrical receptacle is used for A. All power tools B. 3-wire power cord C. Double insulated tools D. Plugs with the ground pins cut off. C. Double insulated tools. 6-foot rule. A rule stating that platforms or work surfaces with unprotected sides or edges that are 6 feet, about 2 meters, or higher than the ground or level below it require fall protection. Class C extinguisher. What type of fire extinguisher would be used on an electric motor that has overheated and caught fire? Hazard Communication Standard, HACCP. The standard that requires contractors to educate employees about hazardous chemicals on the job site and how to work with them safely. Competent person. A person who is capable of identifying existing and predictable hazards in the surroundings or working conditions which are unsanitary, hazardous, or dangerous to employees, and who has authorization to take prompt corrective measures to eliminate them. Screen the work area with welding shields. When other workers are working near a welding operation, the standard practice is to